Hi boys and girls, my name is Ashley Gardner and I'm the Director of Children's Ministries at MLEPC. So glad that you are joining us today for our Bible story. Before we get started in our story, I have a question for you. Do you know what you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do for a job? I know I have a 4-year-old that is obsessed with hockey. Every second of the day, he wants to be doing something involving hockey, whether it is rolling around on his rollerblades, setting up a little hockey Playmobil's rink, or going out in our backyard and shooting the puck. He loves it, and that's all he wants to do. So whenever I ask him about a job, of course, his answer is hockey. He wants to grow up and be a hockey player one day. When I was little, I loved Hawaii. Anything dealing with Hawaii, I was obsessed with. So as a little kid, I thought I wanted to be a hula dancer when I grew up. I also thought I wanted to be a waitress. I thought they made lots of money because people left money on the table for them. So I had very high hopes and dreams. Clearly that is not what I became. I ended up becoming a children's ministry director, which I absolutely love. But it was a little different than what I thought as a kid I wanted to be. I have another son, he's 6-year-old, and he loves the Army and specifically planes. So he has talked about before that he might want to become an Air Force pilot. So we'll have to see. Sometimes what we think we're going to become when we're kids is different than what we really become. But it's always exciting to dream in that way. Well, today we're going to talk about a job that each and every one of us who follow Jesus, a job we're supposed to have. Even as kids, this is a job that Jesus has given to you, and it is the most important job you will ever have. No matter if you are the President of the United States, no matter if you end up working as an accountant or a doctor or a lawyer or bagging groceries at the grocery store or the lifeguard at a pool, it doesn't matter. This is the most important job you will ever have, and it is one that Jesus himself has given you. What do you think that job is? It's a job he told his disciples about right before he left to go back to heaven, right before he ascended into heaven to be with his Father. This is the job he gave them. We're going to watch it on our video. We use a curriculum from the Gospel Project by Lifeway, and it's going to be talking about, for the past couple weeks, we've been talking about as Jesus had died on the cross and he came back to life. We've been talking about what happened after he came back to life. Who did he visit? What did he say? And today's story is he's died on the cross, he's come back to life, he's spent some time with his disciples, and this is his last message right before he's about to go back into heaven. And it's when he gives his disciples a very important job to do. So watch this video. I hope you like it, and we'll be back to talk about it in just a few minutes. Thanks.
Hey everyone, I'm Megan.
And I am Jessie. Hey Megan, will you help me?
Sure, what can I help you with, Jessie?
Will you help me water my dad's plants?
I would be happy to help you with that.
Thank you. My dad went on a trip for his work. He gave my brother and my sister and me all jobs to do while he is away. My job is watering his plants.
Very nice. That reminds me of today's Bible story.
How does watering plants remind you of today's Bible story?
Well, it isn't really the watering plants part that reminds me of our Bible story, but how your dad gave you a job to do until he comes home.
How does that remind you of our Bible story?
Because Jesus gave his disciples a job to do until he returns. A very important job. This is a job for you and me too. Listen to the story. After Jesus died and came back to life, Jesus spent time with his disciples and taught them even more about God's kingdom. One day, Jesus told his disciples to go to a mountain in Galilee. The disciples saw Jesus there and they worshiped him. Jesus gave them a mission, a very important job to do. Jesus said, "I am in charge of everything in heaven and on earth." He commanded his disciples and everyone who trusts in Jesus by saying, "Go, make followers of me in every place on earth. Baptize them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Remember that I am always with you, even until the very end of time." Jesus told his disciples to stay in Jerusalem until God sent the Holy Spirit. Jesus said, "You will have power when the Holy Spirit comes on you. You will tell people about me in Jerusalem, in all Judea and Samaria, and to the ends of the earth." Then something amazing happened. Jesus' disciples saw Jesus go up into the sky. A cloud took him out of their sight. As the disciples looked into the sky, 2 angels in white clothes stood beside them. The angels said, "Why are you staring up into the sky? Jesus has been taken into heaven. One day, he will come back again in the same way." Jesus left earth and returned to heaven, but he did not leave us alone. Jesus promised to send the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit helps us do God's work on earth, telling people about Jesus so they can follow him, while we wait for Jesus to come back and make everything new.
Welcome back. What did you guys think? Can you imagine being there the day that Jesus went back into heaven, hearing that last talk from him, and then watching him go up into the sky, watching him ascend into the air? Oh, would have been, I think, pretty amazing and sad at the same time. I don't think I would have wanted to see Jesus leave at that point. But remember, Jesus was promising to send the Holy Spirit, the counselor that was going to stay with his followers all the time, that was going to live in their hearts. So Jesus was going, but he was sending someone else in his place to be with his followers. Now, I talked about how Jesus gave his disciples a very special job to do before he left. And that job wasn't just for the disciples, it was for all followers of Jesus. Starting then and from then on, anyone who followed Jesus, this was going to be their job. What was it? It was telling people about him. It was starting with first close by. They were in the city of Jerusalem, and he said that they were supposed to tell the people of Jerusalem and Judea and Samaria. Basically, it was starting at a really close place and then expanding out. It might be like if you said, you're going to tell the gospel in Mount Lebanon, in the South Hills, in Pittsburgh, in Pennsylvania, in the United States, and to the ends of the earth. That sphere he was talking about kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, the disciples back then, remember, they did not have cell phones. They did not have cars. There was not the computer or internet. There were not TVs. There were not even cameras. So to tell the gospel, to tell the message of Jesus to the ends of the earth was a really big job. And remember, we were talking about a very small group of people at that point that believed in Jesus. This was new. This wasn't that there were people all over the world that knew about him. The task to tell the entire world about Jesus might have seemed terrifying. It might have been a big job that was so big they might have gone, "Oh, how am I going to do this?" But remember, Jesus wasn't leaving them alone. He was sending them the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit was going to be going with them, was going to be speaking through them. And that was going to be the power that they were speaking with, was the power of God. Did they fail this job? No. This job was so important, and they spread it all over, this message of Jesus, to the point where now, 2,000 years later, if we look at the Bible itself, God's Word, it has been translated, I just looked it up, into 704 different languages. That's not just places that we're telling the gospel. That is different languages that people speak. 704, and that's the full Bible. If you look at the New Testament, so the portion that Jesus is in, that has been translated into over 1,500 additional languages. So this group, this small group of disciples, they went and they told everyone, and then those people started telling people, and then those people started telling, and it's been something where over time the entire world has heard about Jesus. It's something now that we know who he is, we know about him, but there are so many people still that might have heard about Jesus. They might have heard his name, they might know a few things about him, but they don't truly know him in their hearts. They don't personally know him as their best friend, as their Lord, as their Savior. And that is where you guys come in. That is where this job comes in, this most important job. No matter what you become when you grow up, whether you're becoming a hockey player or an army guy or a children's ministry director or even a hula dancing waitress, no matter what you become, your job from God is still the exact same. Our job from him is that we are supposed to share the good news of Jesus to everyone we meet. Our lives are supposed to reflect him. We are supposed to show Jesus every day to whoever we come in contact with, whether it's the people who live in the house next door to us, whether it's the kids at school or people you see at the grocery store or on the park. We are supposed to show the love of Jesus. God is going to work through us. God is going to use us as his witnesses. And we're supposed to be doing that until Jesus returns. He's going to come back one day, just as he went up into the sky as the disciples saw it. Jesus is going to return. He's going to come back. We don't know when it is, but he said he's going to come back in the same way he left. So we'll be able to see him on the clouds coming down from heaven. Until that day, we're supposed to be spreading this wonderful message that Jesus loves you, that he died on the cross for you, but he came back to life and he wants a relationship with you, that he's able to forgive you of any wrong thing you've done because he died on the cross, that he wants to live with you forever. I hope that you are following him now, and I hope that you spread that message to everyone you meet. Once again, this is the most important job you will ever have, and no matter what job you do end up becoming, this is the one that is in addition to that, that is more important than that. This is what we're made for. This is why we're here, is to share the love of Jesus. Think this week how you can do that. Think of one person that you can share God's love with. And remember to be praying. God, the Holy Spirit, that's the one who's really going to be working when you're sharing God's love. Pray that God would be speaking through you, that God would give you the words to say, and that God would be working in that person's heart. It really is all what God's doing. God uses us as his tools, as his vessels, but he is truly the one at work. He just allows us to kind of go on the journey. I hope you guys liked the story this week. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a wonderful week. Spread God's love wherever you go, and God bless. Thanks.